Hello YouTube, welcome back to Nutkin Farm. It's nearly harvest time now and I'm waiting hopefully on a call from my contractor who's going to be coming round to do the first pickup of nuts off the ground. And you can see more of them on the ground certainly than we did last time in my last video. And apologies for the dappled light and my shadow, it's hard to see too many nuts. But they're around and they're in different sizes. Some of them are big, some of them look a bit small. Let me just pick this one up here. Here's an example of a ripe macadamia nut. Still got all its husk, no sign of insect damage. There's a good nut inside that. There you go, that'll be my first nut I've officially harvested on Nutkin Farm. I'll take that back to the farmhouse and frame it or something. But it's a slow job, the harvesting job. They've said it'll take over a day. It doesn't surprise me much. And the younger trees with lower crop to bear tend to drop their nuts a little bit later than the older mature trees, particularly the Hawaiian varieties that I'm walking in amongst here in the roadblock. And as a result of that, you'll get some nuts off this, not any off the younger blocks, and they may not even harvest them this time round. And that's okay. It's all a learning process, of course, and they know what to do when they're harvesting. There's a chance I'll be here when they come, but again, it's the lottery of getting a harvester to show up when you want them to, and any other contractor. But mine have been okay so far. Anyway, the reason for this video is actually not to look down, but to look up. And up in the tree there, you can see a box with the orange logo on the side. It says Owl B&B. You need a big screen to be watching this on to see it. But that is one of 3 owl boxes I've had put up on the property a couple of months ago. The idea being to attract owls to nest in the box, grow families, and then populate with additional boxes. And the idea there, of course, why do I want owls to be here? Well, other than I love owls, they are nature's best pest control for the only pest of macadamias that can actually shell and eat the nut, and that is rats. The common species, which is actually called Rattus rattus, it's not a joke, it's real. Rattus rattus has sharp enough teeth to eat the shell off a nut and then eat the nut inside. They'll bore out as big a hole as they need to get the nut, eat it, and then discard the shell. And you can tell when rats have been around because you can see rat-eaten shells on the ground. Sometimes they take the nuts away, but here on the orchard floor, they are vulnerable to predators like owls who have an entirely silent flight. The traditional method for farmers is, owls are a little bit out there as a method, and some people believe in them, some people don't. The traditional method is poison, and you put baits up in the tree. Usually, at the moment, the only registered rodenticide is the one that we use at home. It's an anticoagulant called brodifacoum. I'm not quite sure how whether I pronounced that right. However, when it gets in the food chain for things like owls, of course, it's not very good for the owl to eat anticoagulant. It can kill them, given that the owl's an apex predator, and that the owl can take 1 rat a night to feed on. They're very ferocious, very, very hungry feeders, and up to 3 a night if they've got a family with them. So I don't want to use baits, I have to say, but it's something where, this particular year I may have had a bit of a late start. We'll see how we go. But owls aren't just a matter of putting up a box and hoping they join it. The people at Owl B&B have specifically designed a box with a perch out front for the owl to sort of nest on, and they've chosen that vantage point in that particular fig tree as one where an owl can sit out on one of those branches, look around, and then as soon as they see a rat, swoop. And so the 3 places they've chosen on my property are a bit like that, fairly high up in the tree. Their next step is to come back at night with recordings of owl calls to see if they can lure owls to the area. Owls have about 7 different calls apparently, and one of them is, "There's food here." So the agenda there is to see if they can attract owls into the area right near the nest box and have them investigate the next nest box for a living space and also as a nesting space, because next spring they'll be looking for somewhere to raise a family. So if it goes according to plan, we have ourselves a very loyal family of owls that will continue to nest there every year. Their kids will nest nearby so long as there's a food source, i.e. rats. And particularly in harvest season, of course, in winter, it's a good time to attract owls because, you know, they're both looking for a nest and there's rats around. So we're hoping, in this block in particular, but also the other areas where we've put the owl boxes, it'll be the start of a successful owl colony. And I've got the professionals on it at Owl B&B. You can look up their website and see what they do. They're into other areas of integrated pest management, but also, you know, helping out farming, including native bees. However, they were very happy when they discovered the beehive in the trunk of this massive tree, because come pollination time, those bees will be absolutely all over my blooms and pollinating them. They're not quite as good as native bees. They're a little bit too big for the macadamia flower, but just their shaking and buzzing around causes a lot of pollination by itself. Right, that's all I wanted to update you on. I hope you're staying well and putting up with isolation as best you can. I'm lucky enough to have this kind of isolation, but it's back to Sydney for me soon. It's all work-related purposes, so that's how I'm allowed to be here. Hopefully, be up here soon, and if I can catch a video of harvesting, I will be the first to bring it to you. Bye.